Welcome back to Wheel to Wheel Racing. We are seriously excited to have you all joining us tonight at Deep Forest Raceway for the kickoff and commencement of Season 12 right here at Wheel to Wheel Racing. Can't believe it's been 12 already. Been fantastic to be involved in this amazing league. Right off the top, want to thank our sponsors who are mostly back and one new one this season. Jade Finance Australia, who are sponsoring the entire thing again. And we welcome Permabil on as sponsors of CP Motorsport. AMS Excavations back sponsoring Damn Hexagon's team. 180 Embroidery back on the season champions from season 11, Team Dodgy Racing. And Hybrid Ag once again sponsoring Scuderia Quadrifolia. We've got a couple of great races tonight, but we'll get into that in a minute. Firstly, just want to introduce my co-commentators tonight. Welcome to Adam V10 and Captain Lowside. Adam, fantastic to have you back on tonight, mate.
Yeah, looking forward to tonight. As you said, race 1 of season 12. It's always interesting to see the new liveries that come up and the drivers that have moved divisions. So yeah, looking forward to an exciting race and can't wait to get going.
There's been a lot of excitement in the Discord server. This has to be potentially one of the best looking seasons. I know we say that every season, but everyone doing the liveries across all of the teams just seems to step it up another level, and they look absolutely fantastic. They'll be out on track in a moment. We'll be able to look at them doing qualifying. Also welcoming on visuals, and for the first time on PS5 after winning the wheel-to-wheel raffle in the off-season. A very well-deserving winner. Congratulations, Captain, and welcome.
Thank you, Molten Ash. I couldn't be more happy with the outcome of the raffle. The PS5 was the prize, and I was lucky enough to take it home. So crisp visuals are coming your way tonight. Nice 60 frames a second, updated graphics from previous. So fingers crossed everything's going to run nice and smooth for me tonight.
Absolutely looking forward to that, and let's try and get these guys out on track and kicking off with a bit of qualifying. The scenario tonight, 3 races here at Deep Forest Raceway, an original Gran Turismo track which made a return recently with a couple of really nice changes. Race 1, we've got 7 laps, and that's going to be preceded by a 10-minute qualifying session which we're just about to kick off now. They're all on soft tyres tonight, and remember, here at Wheel to Wheel, we actually run quite an aggressive fuel and tyre wear strategy. So look, the 7 laps, not going to be an issue tonight. It'll be an all-out sprint here for pretty much the whole field. Race 2, after this, we're going to come back and do 9 laps with a hot lap qualifying beforehand, again on the soft tyre. And Adam, this is where the strategy is going to come in race 2. What are we looking at?
Yeah, so for race 2, we've got 9 laps on the soft tyre. Some cars will just make it. Might be some hairy corners towards the end of the lap, and some cars will need to stop. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what who comes up with what strategy and yeah, where they can perform.
Absolutely. It'd be really interesting to see that. We've seen a variation of strategies throughout the midweek practices. And I tell you what, in that second race, if you can do the 9 laps, you can only just do it. And it's going to be quite exciting to watch. After that, we'll get into a little bit more of an endurance kind of layout. So we've got a half an hour race covering 23 laps, again, with just the hot lap qualifying. But this time we're switching across to both the medium and hard tyre. Strategy there, possibly around 11 to 12 laps on the mediums, although I've seen some eke it out to 14 as well, and then maybe around the 12 laps on the hard. Adam, what race are you really excited about tonight? We've got 3 very different formats.
Yeah, I'm liking the sprint race for race 1, all out attack. You know, no strategy comes into play. It's just who can pull off the fastest laps and who can put in the qualifying, I guess.
Well, speaking of qualifying, we've got a few of the drivers now commencing their second lap, their first hot lap. Captain, who are you looking at in this field? Who's your tip for pole position tonight?
There are so many good drivers. I know Tate's definitely got some 1 lap pace. It's fantastic to see him back on grid. You can't really go past your usuals. Jonesy, CCH has some fantastic qualifying pace. Suit Lad, I know Squiddy's up the top there, Midrisky. There's honestly so many to choose from. Div2 has quickly become what's known as Div 1.5. The quality of these drivers across the league as a whole as well have certainly stepped up. So honestly, at this point in time, it's anyone's game.
Well, as the guys come around to complete their first flying laps here, let's have a quick run through the field if we can. We've got Squidly out there in the Scuderia Quadrifoglio. He's switched from CP Motorsports this season. The boss of Wheel to Wheel, already leading on track with the Jag. That thing is absolutely lightning this season. Comes across. What kind of lap times are we going to see out of him off the bat? Not bad at all. 126.63, but straight away, already Corbin, MCDC, and Jonesy jumping ahead with a 125.53. I think we're going to see low 25s. I'm not sure if we'll get anyone down into the 24s, but it'll be interesting to see later in the session. Let's just run through from first down through to 12 quickly for you. So we've got CCH there in the L Plan Mercedes. That was the car that TDR took to the championship last season. Very strong car indeed. MCDC currently sitting in second. He went up. He's one of the new guys that have come up from Div2, and I tell you, after racing him all season, he races well, and he's absolutely lightning fast as well. As you can see from that time, that 25.76, sitting in second place already. MCDC, another one of the Scuderia Quadrifoglio team this year. A couple of our guys next, Captain, Oily My Blood and Jonesy sitting in there and third and fourth, returning with absolutely no changes in the 13R Autosport team this season, even keeping the Supra. Looking forward to that. And then in fifth place, Suit Lad, who's one of our privateers there. He's racing the Alfa Romeo this season, which will be really interesting to see how that goes. Following them, we've got Tate. Tate is one of the two drivers who didn't take a full break last season, but he's back in force this season, running there in the GTR. Brutal, 1982. He's the second one who's come up from Div3. Again, absolutely lightning fast in this new Z4 that TDR are running this season. And right behind him, Dodgy 86 and his other teammate, Broken Spoke. So Team TDR already out there on track and absolutely flying through, and we'll see a few guys already pitting in. Madrisky as well, also from L Plan. Guys, they're getting around pretty quick. Have I missed anyone there?
No, I'm pretty sure you got everything covered. I was keeping an eye on who might have changed position coming across the line there, but I do believe we've got everyone covered off, and we've shown off their wonderful liveries, even if it's only for a couple of seconds. But no doubt we'll get to them throughout the rest of the stream.
Adam, any surprises early on? We've got Corbin, CCH up there in first and Makadaka, MCDC in second. Do you expect that much pace out of the guys that have come up from Div3, especially in MCDC?
Yeah, MCDC showing great pace there. He's in the Jaguar. The Jaguar's been quite strong in practice, so actually not surprised to see him up there. CCH there in pole at the moment. He's come down from Div 1 back in Division 2. So he's showing his pace as usual.
The guys just behind them, 13R guys, we see Oily leading Jonesy at the moment. But I'm just trying to think, did both of those guys come in and grab new tyres, or have they just kept going on? As we see Corbin and Tate in for new tyres at the moment. These guys trying to get the most out of the soft tyre on the first lap there in this 10-minute session.
Yeah, definitely worth noting that the gap between Jonesy, Oil and MCDC and potentially some others as well, as we see Flossie nab pole by just over a tenth, there is barely a tenth in it between MCDC, Oil and Jonesy. Going back behind Jonesy, there's .066 to Suitlad. This field is incredibly tight. It's fantastic to see.
Well, if our ears can handle it, let's just jump on with Flossie here, although he's coming up on Darth Berserk. Not sure if he's gone quicker already in Sector 1. I hope that Darth gets out of the way here because he does have a penalty there. You want to duck it over to the left-hand side there. Make sure not to get all four wheels off into the green or you get the penalty. Really smooth through here, and then this is probably one of the most important. As Darth holds him up right in the corner, that's going to cost him here in this lap. And Flossie will be very, very annoyed. As you can see, a little bit of side-by-side action there. That's not what you want to see flying, and that will definitely hurt his lap there.
And
Adam,
Flossie,
we've got anyone back through the field?
I was just going to say, Flossie's a part of the new team, Dragon's Den. So we welcome them to Will to Will Racing.
Absolutely. Dragon leaving the champions TDR to start his own team this season. Great to see the numbers bolstering up. All other 6 teams returning, but Dragon's Den being one of the new teams joining us and taking the Mazda. An interesting choice. We'll see how their ears are going after a couple of rounds as to whether they're happy with that choice or not. Obviously, Flossie going into this.
Yeah, one person to keep an eye on as well, Brutal 1982. He's been super quick during practice throughout the week and has been on most nights, so I'm expecting a good run out of him tonight.
Yeah, definitely one of the things we see out of the TDR boys doing a lot of team training during the week, helping each other out, and that's why you see these guys that have been racing around in Div 4 and then Div 3 last season, making the step up to Div 2, and already, like, as you can see, they're both mid-pack. Brutal sitting in 7th at the moment, following Tate on track as he comes in under the bridge right now. 26.0, that's pretty good. I think I've seen Brutal into the 25s. We'll see if he can get down there in the next lap or two. Still Flossie at the top. Corbin CCH not on a fast lap at the moment, but might be lining up for one. The next one, he's got a bit of damage actually, so I think he's gone off on that previous lap. Oily in 3rd, Makadaka now slipping back to 4th, but still very respectable to be in 4th position amongst this field, which is absolutely lightning fast and ahead of Jonesy, who, as we know, is always up in the top couple. And boy, there's a lot of traffic up at the hairpin at this point. It's going to really cost the whole team, actually, the whole of the division.
The whole field.
Quite tight, the whole field.
Yeah, I was just having a look at that actually, and yeah, the whole of the field, bar one driver, was on this back straight. So it's surprising to see that everyone's so bunched up. We see Squiddy jump up into 5th place by about 3/10 as well. So he's on a bit of a flyer there. Suit Lad looks to have improved as well, just 0.007 off of Flossie's time. So incredibly tight gaps here, and it's really just going to show you the calibre of the drivers and how important this one lap dash is.
That's right, and it'll be interesting to see if we get anyone that can finish another lap and improve. Where as Jonesy has said, we're down to the 1 minute warning, so there might be a couple of the guys here that can get through, but I think if you're just coming through Sector 1 at the moment, you're probably no chance. Who have we got leading the field out there at the moment? It's Tate in the GTR as the first of the runners, coming down the back straight now. He's been a bit inconsistent. The last lap at 25.9, that was his best and popped him up to 8th position. Just off his time at this point.
It's really, I've said it multiple times already, but it's really impressive to see just how tight this division is, and the difference between 1st and 8th at the moment, I mean even 9th really, is less than 6/10. This is something that we've really generally only seen in Div 1, and even then it's a rarity. So first round of the season, people are chomping at the bit to get stuck in, and it's really
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely fantastic point there. As we look at the caps, Flossie, it looks like, is going to take pole 7/1000ths of a second ahead of Suit Lad. Corbin in 3rd, only 1/10 back. Oil in my blood behind that. In fact, we see Corbin jump up to the lead just ahead of Flossie. He's taken it at the last minute. So that leaves Corbin at 1st, Flossie 2nd, Suit Lad in 3rd, Makadaka in 4th, and Oil in my blood in 5th as we get ready to start race 1.
I think if we jump on with MCDC, he will get a flying start in that Jag.
Yep, they absolutely are.
Down there in 4th.
Cannot believe how well these things start still, and there's no hope in keeping up.
All the lights are on. They wait for him to go out, and we are racing in Season 12 of Wheel to Wheel. A great start from the majority of the field there. We've got Corbin leading them down into Turn 1. Flossie in 2nd, looking up the inside. Does he go up the inside? No, ducks it back in there as we see the rest of the
field. Ollie's been hit from behind. He's off.
That is not the start that we want to see for the 13R boys. Turn 1, lap 1, race 1, round 1, all of the ones. Unfortunately, it is probably not where Oil is going to be finishing tonight, unfortunately.
Disaster for both of them, but as we look back at the front, we've got Corbin leading the field there, Flossie right on his tail there and pushing Suit Lad just with a small gap back down. He needs to close that down in this next little sector here so he doesn't lose that slipstream. No, he's well in, sorry, he's half a second in there, so he'll have that slipstream heading down the back straight there. Makadaka, wow, up from Div 3 and showing he is here to stay in Div 2. Right on the back of Suit Lad now. Got a slight run on him, probably not enough, or potentially enough. Does he go for it? Sticks it out. Let's see what kind of racecraft he can show against the boys here. Needs to keep it off Flossie. Does a good job keeping down there. Nice and tight. Oh, Suit Lad just pushed the outside and actually gets the run back on Makadaka there.
Meanwhile, we're
out
too
there to
wide,
the track.
too deep. Sorry, Ash, talking over there. We're too wide, too deep. Suitlad and MCDC and Squiddy and Midrisky. Mid was making a move into the hairpin there. We just saw on the screen. This is everyone's holding out for sheep stations in race 1.
We're about to go 4 wide into turn 1 here.
MCDC has got those brakes on rails. He outbraked the Alpha into a very tight left-hander after a very long straight. That is some impressive footwork. These guys are all nose to tail, barely a hair.
And back up the front as we've got Flossie past Corbin.
Yeah, we saw actually, we probably missed that, but Flossie got the run on Corbin onto the straight and was basically alongside and then passed by the start-finish line. And Corbin dropping back now to the point where he's right on the bubble of that slipstream, maybe just out of it now. Needs to get a good run and does out of here. Might catch that slipstream up again by the time he gets down to the hairpin for the front straight.
Really interesting to see.
Holding off Suitland for 3rd to 4th as well there, Captain.
Yeah, I was just going to point out that Flossie in the Mazda actually has quite a good top-end speed, and Corbin as well in the Merc. The Jag doesn't seem to be able to close in that gap. The Jag on corner exit is an absolute monster. It would have thought it would have a little bit more top-end to try and reel that gap in, and if MCDC gets into that hallowed 7.5 tenths, that might be game over.
So we've got Squiddy about to make a move on Suitland into turn 1. Oh, thinks better of it.
Yeah, that Alpha really good under brakes there. Suitland managing to go deep and hold Squiddy off.
You do have to have an absolutely amazing run on the straight to be able to get past an Alpha or something small, especially when you're in a Jag coming into a tight left-hander like that.
Absolutely. So let's do a quick run through the field here on lap 3 of 7. This is a very quick race. It'll be over before we know it. But Flossie in the Mazda out there leading for Dragonston and their debut race here in wheel to wheel. Corbin in the AMG right behind him, just out of the slipstream now with a 1 second gap. And then also 1 second gap again back to MCDC. In the Jag there, which, as you said, really good out of the corners. Probably close on top speed to the two guys out in front, but maybe there and thereabouts. Suitlad in 3rd in that Alfa Romeo, closing up on MCDC now under brakes. He's just about in the slipstream, just drops it off the edge of the corner there. So these guys now just starting to get a little bit of a gap between the top 4. Squidly, though, still in the slipstream of Suitlad, looking to pounce over the next couple of laps. And then Tate, a bit of a gap back, a second and a half back to Tate in the GTR there. And then we've got Brutal in 7th place at this point. Jonesy right behind him in 8th. Those three actually quite tight and in a good little battle at the moment. Midrisky just off the back of them in 9th position in the AMG. Darth Berserk, who I think we actually missed earlier in the run-through. Apologies, Darth. Joining the damn Hexagon team. Sorry, as we just see Brutal have a little bit of a mistake in Midrisky now.
Oh, he's been hit from
puts the
behind
pressure on,
round.
but unfortunately spins him off there under the bridge. After such a good run, yeah, Mid knows it. He's holding up and waiting for Brutal to come through now. So that promotes Darth Berserk up to 8th position, and Jonesy actually up to 7th. He was probably the winner out of that. Darth there in 8th position, Dodgy in 9th, Broken Spoke for TDR, following the boss in 10th. Come on, Spoke, just take Dodgy, mate. You know you've got it. And then Oil in My Blood now right off the back of those two, and the power of the Supra should be able to catch them along the straights. And then, of course, a bit of a gap now. Brutal in 12th with Midrisky redressing that position there in 13th.
Incredibly unfortunate for Midrisky there. I've raced against him several times, and Mid is by no means a dirty driver. He holds himself quite high and quite a good driver in terms of race etiquette. As you can see, he has redressed that incident. But,
sorry, boys. Position for 3rd. Yeah. MCDC right down the inside of Corbin. Can he pull it up on the brakes? He does. Corbin runs a little bit wide. And MCDC's made that move stick, and he's in 2nd.
Great pick up there, Adam. That was a fantastic move from MCDC. Got the drive off the straight with that jag, and in the slipstream, which was really vital, managed to just catch the AMG down the straight, and now he chases off after Flossie. 5 laps of 7, only a couple to go now, 2.5 laps to go. Flossie with a 1.8 second lead. That's pretty commanding in a short race like this, Adam.
It is. I don't think anyone's going to be catching Flossie unless he makes a mistake. And we've got Sutlad, who's now in 11th. He was in 4th position from memory. He's had an issue somewhere, which is unfortunate.
He was up there in 4th.
Yeah.
Just looking, he's got a bit of damage on the front right, so it looks like he's come a bit of a cropper there somewhere and paid the price for it, unfortunately. He was pulling in some really good mid-25 second laps before that on lap 3 and 4, so that's going to cost Suit big time now, back into 11th with a almost 3.5-4 second gap up to Broken Spoke in front.
Yeah, some carnage here in race 1, and a couple of offs, a couple of tangles. It happens.
Yeah.
It's racing, but I mean, lap 6 already. This race is nearly done for. How's everyone's tyres looking? I know some cars can actually use a significant amount and run towards the end of a usable grip by the end of 7 laps. Is anyone looking like they're struggling, or everyone's going to be home safe by end of lap 7?
Great pickup, and both Corbin in the AMG in 3rd and Tate in the GTR in 6th position have used quite a lot of tyres. Another one that's notable is Darth Berserk in the Porsche. That Porsche really using the right rear tyre with the engine weight out over the back there. Everyone else looks like they're probably not going to have too much of an issue, although Sutlad in the Alpha, again, another mid-rear car, definitely hurting the right rear tyre. So I think you can already guess a few people there that in race 2 are probably going to struggle to make that 9 laps.
Yeah, we've got Oil in My Blood in 9th position. He's dispatched Broken Spoke and is now hunting down Dodgy 86. After Oil's spin on the first lap after being tapped around, he's solid recovery drive at the moment.
Well, Adam, you said this sprint race was one of your favourites, and it's been absolutely action-packed up to this point. We have Flossie now coming around for the final lap as he crosses for the white flag here. One more lap around here at Deep Forest. He's got a real commanding lead now. Some fantastic mid-25 second laps there for a 2.5 second lead from MCDC there in 2nd place. Corbin behind him in 3rd.
Sorry, we've got Oil making move on Dodgy. Oh, he's gone around the outside. Can Dodgy hold it up the inside? Great move by Oil there. He's managed to hold it around the outside and he's made that move stick.
Great show of racing room by Dodgy there as well.
Wow. Yeah, Dodgy, great racer. Left enough room for him there on the outside on the exit. He'll be banking that one. Looking to get it back on Oil later.
It'll be interesting to see if Oil can run down Darth Berserk, because the Porsche isn't the fastest in the straight line, and that Supra is an absolute rocket ship. So it'll be interesting to see what happens down this back straight.
I think that's going to be the real only fight on track. Everyone else is virtually strung out a little bit at this point. These
Darth
three
got a great run out of that corner.
He's actually just gained on him, but now the Supra's top speed is starting to wrangle at him, but nowhere near enough. He's barely even in the slipstream, so it's going to be a big ask. Oil's going to have to get a perfect hairpin here to be able to make a run down the start finish straight, but even then it's going to it's tight. Darth may just be able to hold it out.
We've got Flossie coming around.
Flossie.
A few seconds up the road, we see it's Flossie coming across for the win. Congratulations, Flossie, leading Season 12 with the win there for Dragon 7 Racing. Happy days. Makadaka in 2nd, Squiddy in 3rd, Corbin and Jonesy 4th and 5th with Tate behind. Darth Berserk now managing to hold Oily off for 7th, 8th, and 8th was Oily. Dodgy in 9th, right behind Oil there. Almost had it on in there, but Broken Spoke in 10th. He'll be looking for a better result later on today. Sutlad comes across in 11th with Mid crossing now after that unfortunate tangle with Brutal. And really, look, you can't blame Mid there. He was definitely being the gentleman. Looking back at that, Brutal got a little bit loose out of the chicane there, and then Mid, out of the S's down there under the bridge, and just managed to get a little bit of a bump. He had really nowhere to go there, Mid. But congratulations, Flossie, victory here in race 1 of season 12 at Deep Forest Raceway.
Incredible.
Yeah, and a big shout out to MCDC as well in 2nd, coming up from Division 3. taking second in Division 2s is no easy feat, so congratulations to MCDC.
We saw it when he filled in once or twice in Div2 last season. The man can drive, and when he first joined quite a few seasons ago as a friend of DC, we saw that in the practice lobbies, and he's just slowly been working his way through. Hey, if this is a sign of things to come, Div1, watch out, he could be there.
We're going to have a few contenders out of Div2 here, I think. A couple of these guys have we've seen some promotions from Div2 into Div1 this season, and I think we're going to see a couple more at the end of this, so definitely keep our eyes out, Adam. But commanding race there from Flossie. He did not have a lap outside of the 25s. They were consistent mid to low for the most part of it. That is incredible consistency and incredible pace. So, I mean, even Flossie, that was a show of Div1 speed right there. So anything can happen.
Yeah, there's almost no difference now between some of the Div 1 and Div 2 times when it comes to outright lap pace, but we're the aliens in Div 1 and do really, really well as being able to look after their tyres in some of these longer races, and they can just do the laps lap after lap after lap, and it's absolutely fantastic to see. And if you're interested in watching that, hang around 7:30 tonight. Div 1 will be right here in Deep Forest Raceway as well.
Alrighty, well, we've got a short break. I'll jump into a couple of sponsors. I will start off with Jade Finance Australia. We'll be back with you in just one moment.
Do you own a business needing new equipment? Or perhaps you're wanting a good set of wheels for that shiny new bike license? Maybe you're after that well-earned boat for retirement. Or you desperately need a new car or caravan for those family getaways? Get in touch with Jade Finance today.
Yeah, thank you to Jade Finance Australia, our major sponsor for Season 12 and until the end of the year. As you saw, Jade Finance Australia are a commercial lending specialist who look after new and used lending for cars, boats, caravans, trucks and plant machinery. Have a look at their website, jade.finance, or contact them by phone on 1300 000 003 to find out more.
That couldn't have been more perfectly timed too. The little cycle of our sponsor logos in the bottom right hand corner actually had Jade up and had that number there. So I'm just going to claim that well timed and well planned by me.
Perfect by the visuals.
Let's jump into one more ad quickly. Next up is 180 Embroidery. We'll be back with you in just one moment.
Yes, thank you to 180 Embroidery, who are sponsoring Team Dodgy Racing this season. 180 Embroidery provide quality embroidery and vinyl printing services for a large range of school and workplace uniforms, sportswear and promotional products. So whether you're a farmer, a frontline worker or anyone in between, we've got you covered. We have a wide range of clothing brands for any situation, so check them out at www.180embroidery.com.
Yeah, thank you to all of our wheel-to-wheel sponsors and to Jade and 180 there. Absolutely fantastic to see some of what they're doing with us, and geez, they look fantastic across a couple of the cars. I know there's a couple of privateers actually running a full Jade Finance livery this season, so looking forward to seeing that later on in the season. Jonesy, now just fixing up a couple of settings on the track, but for race 2 now, we've got 9 laps. So this is the one where, strategy-wise, your one stop is probably the most likely for most of the field. You have to go absolutely flat out, and you need to make that choice right from the get-go. Because if you are saving tyres, you need to save it from the moment the lights go out.
The margin for error there is absolutely minuscule. I struggled for about 10 practice races earlier in this week, just trying to get to 9 laps and figure out how to do it. I then was able to figure out how to do it and then got into a battle with one other driver for about half a lap, and I was then that half a lap short of finishing the race without any grip left in that right rear. So like you say, you have to make that choice from the start, and just as hard as it is, if someone wants to get past you, you've just got to let them go.
And let me tell you, when the tyres go here, they absolutely go. You cannot barely even get around the last little kink in the straight, especially with the right rear being the one that cops all of the punishment here. So, guys, we've got a hot lap qualifying now. 1 lap, bring it or bin it. It's the only chance you have, which will set the grid. So this could shake it up a little bit for race 2 here. Who do you reckon can pull it out, Adam?
Oh, I can't go past Flossie. He's there trying to burn as much fuel as possible for that hot lap. But I'm interested to see what Sutlad can do in that Alpha.
Well, let's jump on with Sutlad, shall we? As we see Corbin just out in front of him, leading the field down. Crossing now the Future Studios Alpha, right down into turn 1, late on the brakes there as he pulls it in, gets that concrete which has the extra grip on it, nice and smooth on the throttle, up to the hill here, bumps up and over there. You can get a little bit loose there, probably didn't take as much of the track as expected there. Back across the left hand side, down a couple of gears here, so you have to be really, really soft on the brakes, and then straight back on it, and again, nice soft braking here to hold it tight to the inside. Get on the gas as early as you can, but not too early because it pushes you right out to the wall there. And he's potentially even in with a little bit of a slipstream here for Corbin. He might have timed this fantastically. It's probably the most important corner there. Gets a good run out of it nice and early, and potentially right in this slipstream here of Corbin. I'm not sure if he's close enough. It might be borderline.
He had a great application of power on the exit of that left-hander onto this back straight. I think he's just outside of the slipstream zone from CCH in front of him, but I'm going to say he's gained on him. This exit here is going to play big as if he can get any slip on the start-finish. Oh, he's just had a bit of a snap of oversteer. That hairpin seems to plague mid-rear cars in this game, and that's dropped him well out of that slipstream zone. Unfortunately, that might be the difference.
That'll definitely hurt. Alright, this is going to come thick and fast, chance. What are we watching here? CCH will definitely set the time with a 26.1. Sutlad straight away above that with a 25.8. Can anyone top that one at this point? Brutal in third. CCH now taking third. And MCDC again in second position. That is an absolutely brilliant pace out of that Jaguar there.
Squiddy's coming around for his lap. We'll see what he can put down. And Squiddy's good for 6th position at the moment.
6th position with a 26.2. Definitely no slouch in 1 lap there. Can take a couple of laps to really get it off. But it looks like Sutlad, congratulations, he's stuck the Alpha on pole there. We missed a couple of people. We got a few people that ended up going back in there. We've currently got Sutlad and pole.
We've got Flossy still on the flyer, sorry. He's just rounding the last corner now.
Yep,
at the race 1 winner. We'll see what he can put down.
He's giving himself maximum chance here. Nice clean air, and he jumps up into pole.
Takes it! 25!
Oh yeah, he's happy with that. He is
slides it into turn 1, backs it down there. Very, very happy. He's gone out late. Nice and clear track. That definitely helps. Bossy for pole in race 2 here. Sutlad joining him on the front row. MCDC in third. Tate in 4th. And then Oil in My Blood, Corbin, CCH, Majewski, Squidly the boss, Dodgy, Brutal, Darth Berserk, Spoke, and Jonesy right down the back. I think he actually got a penalty at some point. Might have even been coming out of the pits to the 3-second penalty there, so that ruined his qualifying. But guys, a bit of a surprise to see the TDR boys that far back, actually.
Yeah, I think they might have tried some slipstream or a bit of a teamwork here, but it didn't seem to pay off for them. So I'm going to stay up the front here with Flossie for the start of this race, and we'll see how we go.
Lights are on, and we are ready to go now.
And
they're out,
away.
and off we go now as the guys get it down. Oh, that Mazda almost a bit of wheel spin, but manages to hold off Sutlad. Crosses over there now. Looking back in the pack a little bit. Oh, 3 wide as they come down. Tate absolutely sending it, and Squiddy managed to get back up the inside there. They all got through clean, guys.
Yeah, that's the trouble here. The guys that are going to do the no stop are going to be going slow, and the guys doing the one stop are going to be going all out. Where there's carnage up the front between Squiddy and Tate, although Squiddy's just held the position.
Squid picked up a hard 1 second penalty there.
I think it was pushed into that. I don't think he should. Well, he's going to have to serve it, unfortunately, but That's really unfortunate for Squiddy.
GT7 physics really not playing into his favour there. Oil going for the nose on the final left-hander onto the back straight. Looks like Brutal's picked up a penalty as well, so Oil's going to pick up a couple of positions here.
Yeah, it's seriously tight through this pack here as we see a few of the cars around him, Brutal and Squidly, now serving those penalties and dropping back, and everyone just filing down the left-hand side as they come out of the tunnel there.
Well, we go MC, DC and Suitlad going side by side down the straight here. I know that Alpha's pretty fast, but I don't know if it's as fast as the Jag.
I mean, the Jag's already got it done, but that top end of the Alpha is reportedly pretty quick. You can actually see the Suitlad coming back. That little car has got some top end pace. Is he able to outbrake him on the out? He is. Suitlad's able to outbrake MCDC on the outside of turn 1 and say, thank you very much, I will hold on to place number 2.
Well, I did not expect that from the little Alpha on top of the Jag there. I thought the Jag would have it for outright pace down the straight there. But yeah. Great work by Suitlad, really deep under brakes, and he's clearly got this thing hooked out. Watch out, Div2 in Season 12. Suitlad's back again.
Showing some
as we see Flossie. Yeah, we see Flossie already with a 1.5 second, 1.6 second gap. I'm guessing with some of the pace he's running here, it'll be interesting to see what these first couple of lap times are, but I've got a sneaking suspicion he's going broke out the front here and will potentially stop. It's really hard to tell who's going for the stop and who's looking to run through at this point. Adam, have you had a bit of a look through the field to see that yet?
Yeah, I believe the top 4 are going for a one stop, and CCH or Madrisi's just taken CCH. Madrisi also going for the one stop. It looks like just by looking at their driving style.
I think you're right there. Everyone from kind of Tate back seems to have a little bit better tyre wear, and definitely you can see them dropping off the back of the top 5 there. But out of the front group, MCDC here, who's right in the back of Suitlad's slipstream there, he's probably got the best tyres of that front group at this point in time. So it might still be on for MCDC. I'm not so sure he'll be able to do it, but definitely the best of those top 5 drivers at this point in time.
Yeah, and just behind them, we've got the gorgeous liveries of El Plan in the Mercedes. Oh, Madrisi's picked up a 2-second penalty, which is going to cost him quite a bit.
Adam starting season 12 early with his... Sorry, Ash, go.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he's in the group that's going flat chat, getting a penalty this early in the race is going to be absolutely devastating. 3 laps in, that's probably not enough time to switch your strategy now to try and go the whole way. If you do, you're probably dumping too much lap time, I'd say.
Yeah, it's unfortunately for mid there, he was making moves. As far as I'm aware, Corbin is still on controller, so he is one that is guaranteed for a pit stop. He has got reportedly in his own
Oil
moves.
making a move on Tate. Sorry to cut you off there, Kat.
Good.
Down there in 5th.
No hope of making 9 laps, so expect to see him in either this lap or next. But yeah, as you pointed out.
Speaking of, guys, both Flossie and Suitlad in at the end of lap 3 there.
Yeah, so Flossie obviously on the quick strategy, which means that MCDC has been handed the lead.
Yeah, and you could tell that Flossie with a 25.222, he's almost a full second ahead of the rest of that field on that first lap. Just flicking through now, I can't see anyone else in the field that's been down in the 25-second lap times. It's just Flossie at this point. He's come back out now in 11th position, 12 seconds off the back of MCDC, and looking at the guys who are potentially doing the no stop, it's still about 9 to 10 seconds. So this is going to be a tough ask to pull this back in the remaining 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think Flossie is racing Oil in My Blood here. I believe the top 2 will be stopping for tyres, so Oil in My Blood will effectively be the leader, who I'm putting my money on he's doing a no-stop, as he is known as the tyre wizard.
We've seen it season after season. Oil can get an extra 2 or 3 laps out of these tyres. It's just so smooth.
And up front, sorry boys, we just got a battle on for you for first.
You're looking
Great
at
pickup. Corbin down the inside there with a really commanding move on Makadaka there. Really evenly matched these two, actually. Maka's doing a fantastic effort. Do we see either of them come in for pits? Corbin's in.
interesting, makes a move and then jumps straight into the pits. There was an interesting comment, I think it was pointed out by Dale Teeks in the YouTube chat, that MCDC was doing 25s as he just rolls out a 25.8. If he's sitting in the mid to low 26s, which I think is still incredible pace, he may be on for a 9-lapper here. So it'll be interesting here between MCDC and Oil, and then of course the guys who have pit will need to make their way through a pretty hefty field, and that's not an easy opportunity around Deep Forest.
I tell you what, looking at MCDC's tyres, they're still looking relatively good. We're just past the halfway mark here in the race, and he's not quite in the half. He's looking after them fantastically, so if he can pull this off, he may be on the one-stop guys with Oil.
Yeah, wow, that Jag is tyre wear is fantastic at the moment.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Just a quick note too, we did see Midriski and Darth Berserk also pitting with Corbin there on lap 4. I was surprised Corbin went in there. He got the lead. I would have gone for another lap or two and then pitted maybe this lap or the next and taken advantage of that clear air.
Especially when Corbin demonstrated that he is capable of going 7 quick laps in race 1. Interesting to see that he wanted to do a battle and then jump straight into the pits and yeah. Maybe
and interestingly, guys, Flossie now in 8th position. He's come out and he's behind Brutal. He hasn't been able to get that pace back. He did a 27.2 last lap out, the first lap out, so probably a second or so off the pace, just being potentially held up with just some traffic. Nothing wrong with that. That's part of the strategy. He'll want to be dispatching Brutal down into turn 1 now. He's definitely tight in the slipstream here.
Brutal's not making it easy for him, covering that line.
He's certainly covering, but Flossie on those fresh tyres straight around the outside, and he did do a 25 for that time though, so back on that fast pace. See him keep coming through the field, I imagine.
So MCDC dumping out some quick lap times here. He did drop into the low 27s, but straight away followed that up with a 26.4. So his pace is still incredible, and it certainly looks like he is going for a 9-lap stint at this point in time.
Yeah, and Oily behind him, very similar lap times in the low to mid 26s. So I think MCDC is going for the no stopper, and he's in a real commanding position at the moment, 3.1 seconds out. I can't see him doing a late pit stop. I think by now you're either going for broke or you're not going to make it.
And at times, if you're going for 9 laps there, the difference between thinking in your own head, yes, I can make this, yes, I can make this, you get to that 8th or 9th lap and you're really looking at your tyres going, it's going to be dicey, it's going to be close. So hopefully...
It's probably worth shifting our attention back to the battle for kind of 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. We've got Flossie now on the back of Broken Spoke and coming at a rate of knots. Can he dispatch another one? Coming down here into turn 1, right, tight in the slipstream. Does he pull out late? Yes, he does. Perfect move down in the inside, nice and late on the brakes. Finds the apex. He's just got the tyre at this point. A 26.9 that time by though.
And just up ahead, we saw Jones. Sorry, just up ahead, we saw Jonesy take 4th off Dodgy.
The BMW overtaking the BMW.
Yeah.
That's been the joke all off season, hasn't it? There's definitely an alliance going on between the TDR and 13R boys, and there's been a lot of talk in the paddock that they've both chosen BMWs.
yeah, it's no surprise that TDR and 13R, that's a lot of R's in one sentence, are sister teams. But it's really good to see them actually being able to work together on track.
It's great.
Yeah, and Jonesy qualified in 13th as well, and he's up there in 4th, so he's picked the right strat at the moment. So hope he can make it to the end.
Jonesy was the
first
of our team.
The big question is, can he hold Flossie off?
It's going to be an interesting last couple of laps. Jonesy was the first of our team earlier in the week to be able to show to us that 9 laps is actually possible in the Supra. So, maybe he's been taking a lesson with Oil's school of tyre saving and been able to pull out off here. Flossie?
Well, gents, Flossie up the inside there of Dodgy basically got him before the corner there. That was fantastic pace out of those fresh tyres off the back, and they're actually looking Yeah, really, really good. I think Dodgy and Spoke are pretty borderline at this point. They're going to be cruising around in the 127s to bring this one home on the one-stopper. The no-stoppers. Looking back up at the front of the field on lap 8 of 9. Makadaka with a 2.7 second gap over Oily. It's clear now that these guys are both on the no-stopper, and I think they've pretty much got this in the bag. But, well, nothing's in the bag here because the tyre life on both on the right rear is borderline, and just as they go down the straight, you can just see it drop little bit by little bit. I think they've got enough in there, but it's going to be very, very tight. Will anyone drop off on that last lap? We might even see it down the hairpin in the very last lap.
We got a battle for fourth here. It's Flossie's right on the bumper of Jonesy. He's going to be able to get it under brakes on those fresher tyres. There's nothing really Jonesy can do there.
That there is a wonderful display of how much of a tyre-saving technique you have to employ around this track to get 9 laps. Flossie doesn't care about his tyre life. He's got that in spades at the moment, and he was on the pegs way later than Jonesy.
Just quickly, CCH pulled a move on Brutal as well, but Brutal fighting back now, trying to get that 8th position back on much older tyres. Going for it down the inside. Can he pull it off under brakes? Surely CCH has more brakes, but Brutal sending it.
Not making
CCH
it easy.
has to go around the outside. Can he get the drive off? Can he clear him here into the left-hander? Yeah, he does. Just clears him.
He does just. Suitlad trying to pick up the scraps here as well. Really unfortunate for him, though. He's not able to make up a position or two.
Makadaka, guys, his tyres on the right rear are seriously borderline. He's looking at his first Div2 win, but this could be all over. Oh, as he gets a little bit loose coming onto the back straight.
Oh, it's nerve-wracking, and I'm not even driving.
Oily now with a slightly better tyre life, but I tell you what, Tate, Oily and Makadaka are all absolutely borderline, as Flossie is right in the slipstream of Tate now coming under the bridge. He'll probably have enough to get through. Does Tate look and defend? He does stay to the inside. Flossie looks to the outside.
Oil
he makes
here
it out of the corner.
Oh, this is incredibly
so
tight. Tate
ginger.
sideways. Flossie.
So ginger by the front two there.
Oh, this is
Almost
incredible.
completely gone on tyres, but I think they're just going to make it.
Last
Makadaka's
corner.
out of tyres. Can he get around the last corner? A little bit
it's
sideways, but
sideways.
he's going to do us around.
No!
Oh, has not made it and spun.
Oh.
Tate takes third with Flossie making it in second on that one stopper. What a finish!
Wow.
Oh,
That is some incredible
Makadaka
thing.
taking out the win, Division 2.
by a second too. Flossie was absolutely flying. Just needed a tad more. Makadaka, congratulations. You managed to make those tyres last. Oily, unfortunately, dropping all the way down to 11th place there after looking like taking second. That's how close it is here in this lap race. What a race!
That is some incredible scenes. You're having Flossie catching up to the top 3 drivers here. He's currently sitting in 4th, and with 2 corners to go, picks up 2 positions. Oil spinning in such a high-speed, high-stakes corner. That is incredibly unfortunate, but wow, what a finish to race 2.
Oh, it'd be absolutely ruined that. But guys, give it up for Makadaka. Coming up from Div3, finished second there last season, straight into Div2 and showing these guys what it's all about. Do we have to start calling Div3 the new Div2?
I think we've just got to ramp everything up a little bit, don't we?
This league is absolutely unbelievable, so competitive, and congratulations, Makadaka. That is an amazing win, mate. Well done. You've looked after those tyres. Let's take a breath here at the comms box.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think it is a well-deserved second breath. We'll actually jump into an ad real quick. AMS Excavation's coming up now. We'll be back with you once we have caught our breath.
Yeah, so we're back now. We've caught our breath, and we'd like to thank AMS Excavations for sponsoring Damn Hexagons this season. AMS Excavations have been providing quality excavation services to Metro and Greater Sydney for the past 5 years. They are driven by their reputation for providing high-quality work and exceeding their clients' requests. Find out more at amsexcavations.com.au. And we'd also like to thank some of our other sponsors that don't have ads with us. I'd like to thank Hybrid AG or Hybrid Ag. Hybrid Ag is passionate about educating people about the importance of nutrient density and the significant beneficial impact this can have on our health and the environment. We help people to apply this knowledge with a view to transform food quality as we know it today. You can learn more at hybridag.com.au. And our latest sponsor, Per Mobile. At Per Mobile, our purpose is to innovate for individuals, to create advanced solutions that make the lives of people living with disabilities more enriching. Our dedicated teams work tirelessly to make this happen. At Per Mobile, we are leading the charge. We see ability. Check out their website at www.permobile.com.
Well, thank you to all the wheel-to-wheel sponsors there. We really couldn't do this without you. Thank you for helping us bring these streams to life. And speaking of, we've got plenty of people saying what an epic race that was. What a finish there in the live chat. Guys, type away. You're absolutely excited to see that race again in Div1 later on tonight. There was a few people saying the 9-lapper was probably a bit too much. We should have gone to medium tyres, but wow, what a finish. You just can't get that kind of entertainment anywhere. That was fantastic.
No, look, I'm firmly against going to medium tyres there. It really goes to show that we can have a split of strategies and they work out that close. I mean, Flossie with some absolutely incredible pace towards the end there, fresh tyres and zero care about trying to preserve them, just goes to show that it's really not over until it's over. Oil on the reverse hand of that, super unfortunate. He kept it incredibly clean, was able to close that gap on MCDC in the last lap. Maybe that's what did it to him. It's so easy to get into your own head and just go, he's close, I'm reeling him in, and then it just disappears in the space of one corner. Incredible.
Well, I think the pressure there from Flossie coming through at such pace, he wanted that second place. You could see it, and yeah, the same there for I think it was for Tate, unless I was incorrect there. But yeah, a couple of them there, just. That last hairpin is so tough when the tyres go, and if they do go before it, you can't make it. Makadaka, he managed to save the tyres till just after that corner. As he came out of that corner and plucked third gear, his tyres were all gone, but by then he just had to make it around that left-hand kink, and he had enough of a gap in place to end up taking that race by 1 second, which was just a beautiful display of car control.
Absolute incredible scenes. Congratulations to MCDC again. First round in Div2. You are certainly making a statement for yourself, and I mean, not to put a target on your back, but look out the rest of Div2.
And I tell you what, a complete change in pace now. We go from the couple of sprint races we've just had with a little bit of tyre saving in that second one now, and we move into more of an enduro feel. So we've got basically a 30-minute race here, just over, and we're doing 23 laps of Deep Forest on the medium and a hard tyre.
Yeah, so that's the difference between races 1 and 2 and 3 is that Corbin's putting on a fantastic drifting display for us, trying to warm up those mediums, but we are qualifying here on mediums, so times will be down a little bit compared to races 1 and 2. Same format for race 2, 1 lap, hot lap, you get one opportunity to make this stick. I think I can see... Jonesy's gone for the late drive out of the pits this time, giving himself maximum free air. But yeah, mediums, they do take a little bit longer to warm up, so Corbin doing his best impersonation of DK there to try and get some heat into them to give himself a maximum opportunity of pole.
Guys, the field very tight up at the front. They're all kind of almost jostling for position here. Suitlad's just trying to get out in front of everyone by the looks of it.
Are we at the end of the race, or are we qualifying?
Playing games here. No one wants to go out first. They all want to slip.
And it's go time. It's hammer down now. There's no point in trying to play more games. It's just going to hurt yourself even further. So MCDC with that all-important clean air, but Suitlad and Brutal in that slip. Suitlad's got his work cut out to be able to keep up and in that slip, though. So, yeah. I mean, I feel I'm looking at race scenes here, not qualifying.
It seems like it. There's absolutely no gap between them. We're almost going to have to see passing for these guys to get their lap. Scoot that now almost right on the back bumper of MCDC. I don't think he's left enough gap here for me. I'd want to leave more of a gap. And now Brutal getting checked back up as well. I'd be surprised if we see the top time coming out of this first group, gents.
If it does, that's hats off to MCDC to be able to lead them around. But yeah, wow, incredible scenes again here in quali.
And where they're going, Squiddy's going to be pushing them down the back straight here.
I honestly think they're just costing themselves time. And Adam, we see Brutal with the penalty as well. He's going to suffer from that one. Squid may just be able to pick up the slipstream from Suitlad in front. Unfortunately for Brutal. But yeah, sorry, Adam.
Well, that's him done enough.
You and I are big adversaries, so just finding clean air and so we don't end up in battles like this. There's no point.
Yeah, as you see in 6, we got Corbin right on the tail of Tate here, pushing him along. I don't know if that helps or if it hurts your time, but yeah, I'd like to be out in clean air. And up ahead, we've got 3 wide into that last corner. It's so it'd be interesting to see what Jonesy, who went out in free air, can do compared to these guys.
Another one in free air is Flossie, guys, so we're going to sit back and just watch these times tumble as they come through.
MCDC led across the line with a 28.
About a 25.9.
25.9, sorry.
Yeah, but still oil in my blood. Right up there with a 27.0. Squiddy in second there.
Nice.
And a couple of the latecomers through. Spoke comes across the line, goes up to 6th.
I'm on board with Jonesy in 9th at the moment, and he's taking pole.
Takes it, that gap, free air, he does it, Jonesy. Although we've still got Flossie, I think,
yeah,
and oil in my blood coming through.
Darth Berserk jumps up a number of positions too. Flossie, what is he going to pull off? Start, finish straight now, making his way towards the line.
He's going to ruin the 13-hour 1-2, and he
does it. You just have to ruin our fun, Flossie. Jump straight back to the pits. Even though he's taken pole, he will probably change to the hard tyre.
That's the big question now, guys. We've got Flossie, who is in pole. Looks like he's going on to the hard tyre. Oil in my blood and Jonesy. It looks like Oil's staying out on the medium. Jonesy is in the pits. Does he change? No, he's still on the medium. Hasn't changed yet. In fact, comes back out on the medium. So we're going to have a very differing strategy here. We've got Flossie on pole. Looks like he's going to head out on the hards.
Interesting.
Jonesy and Oil in my blood on the mediums right behind him.
Yeah, I wonder if Flossie's going to try and back up field a little bit. I mean, he's got the pace, so it's still going to be a mission for Jonesy or Oil to get past him. For the whole front 2 rows, Squid, I take that back. Depending on whatever tyre Squid is on, he is in a rocket ship off the line. He could be one to take the lead of the race in turn 1.
Yeah, Squid looking like he's staying on those mediums, so you're right, he should be a rocket off the line. And the 13R boys will just hope that Flossie gets some serious wheel spin on those hard tyres, but we'll see what happens now as we're lined up on the grid and ready to go.
I've got to jump on with... Wait, Dodgy. He's in 4th place.
Dodgy in
we
4th.
Missed that altogether.
We did miss that, but looking at the field, we've got Jonesy and Oil in my blood on mediums and Squidly on mediums, the rest on hards as the lights all come up, and we are ready to go for race 3. Lights are out, and away we go. A really good start from Squiddy there on the mediums. Much better. Straight down the outside and looking to put pressure on Jonesy, all ready for 2nd place.
Into turn 1 we go.
Oil's getting swallowed up.
Keeping it clean. Oil's getting swallowed up, surprisingly. I wonder if he's jumped on to the hards there. But Jonesy being able to hold off Squid, and everyone starts to file into a single file.
I do believe Oil was on the mediums.
Oh, big crash. Who was it? Midriski's around. Just heard that.
Oh,
unfortunately is around.
Some dramas here towards the back of the grid as well. Take, Brutal and Spoke all getting tangled up in a close battle early on.
A very tight battle on the hard tyres there. Lots of bumping through the pack, but just to confirm, we do have Oil in my blood at 6th in the mediums. A couple further ahead from him, it's just Squidly and Jonesy on the mediums, and Flossie currently leading on the hards with Jonesy chasing him down already. Good start by Flossie there on the hard tyre on the first lap, half a second down.
great start. That Mazda's not the easy. Well, I mean, in my experience, it's not the easiest thing to get off the line. So being able to do that on a hard set of tyres against basically being surrounded by medium runners and a Jag, he has done a very good job to hold out first place at lap 1.
We got a spinner up the back. Sorry, looking at. I think it's brutal. Oh,
It is.
not a great start to this race, and his first time up here in Div2. Unfortunately, so I'm not sure if he got a tap there, but he ended up spinning off the hairpin there and goes right back down. As we see Flossie doing this interesting strategy, he's in and off the hard tyres at the end of the first lap. We saw him doing this in testing. He'll now go out on the mediums and look to do 2 stints on the medium tyre. I haven't seen him make it work all week. I'm surprised he's sticking with it tonight.
Yeah, that's a very interesting strat. I've not seen him pull this off before. And 1 lap on the hards. I mean, that's all that we need to do is 1 minimum lap on each tyre compound, the mediums and hards for this race. So he's jumped out onto the mediums. He's only 16 seconds behind Jonesy, but he's got 1 more pit stop to go, as does the rest of the field. That is a big ask.
Well, he did say earlier in the week that he was just really struggling with his car on the hard tyres. He managed to get out there and just couldn't get the pace and kept spinning, so he feels a lot more confident on the medium. He's clearly quick on the medium. We've seen those low 25-second race laps from him.
Oil and Dodgy going side by side for third. And Oil's backed out of it and let Dodgy through. Oh, sorry. Dodgy's let Oil through, I should say.
Oh, CCH went deep in the hairpin as well. He was in a battle there with Suitlad. Went way deeper under brakes, and I think he just ran a little bit long there.
Alrighty, lap 2 done and dusted. I think most people are going to settle into their strats now and settle into their grooves, seeing a whole bunch of lap times dropping already into the mid to low 26s.
Yeah, we do have our 3 medium runners already in first, second and third, so they've managed to navigate the chaos.
Yeah, Jonesy and Squid basically inseparable so far. Oil just dropping back a little bit, but he did get swallowed up in turn 1 and lost several positions. So for him to gain them back, yes, a couple of people have jumped into the pits or had some lap 1 dramas as well, but fantastic to see Oil barely 2 seconds off of the front pack.
Now for these guys on the medium tyres, we're expecting them to pit any time from potentially at the earliest lap 10 and at the latest probably lap 13. We have seen a few go to 14, but not with a lot of pace, definitely not these 3, not with Supra. So when do we expect some of the hard tyres the hard tyre guys to come in pit and try and chase them down?
I would probably be thinking relatively similar, maybe laps 13, 14 on the hards, and because you can get those comfortable 11, 12 laps out of the mediums, there isn't much of a difference in lap time in my experience between the medium and the hards, but the mediums are still technically a quicker tyre, so you'd be silly not to maximise that
position
time.
Here, Darth Berserk, down the inside of Dodgy under braking. Run on the straight in that Porsche. Still side by side around turn 1. Dodgy holding it to the outside, but concedes to Duff. It was a great move there from Duff.
Have we got a tyre difference between these 2 drivers? I think Dodgy might be one of the drivers on hards.
Dodgy is also on the hard.
Okay.
Yep, and Darth Berserk. These are our leaders in the hard drivers at this point in time. So Darth the first of the hard runners. Both of them barely anywhere on the tyres at this point.
Yeah, Darth Berserk racing for Damn Racing. Oh, sorry, the Damn Hexicans, I should say. I should know that name by now, because that is my team.
Too good.
And not surprised to see you in a team that chose the Porsche, Adam. One of your favourites.
Yeah, I guess it's a favourite out of the MR car. I guess to Dale's dismay, as he wanted to go with the Alpha, but unfortunately, as a few of us wanted the Porsche over the Alpha. But yeah, not the greatest car around here, I must admit. But I'm sure it's got some tracks coming up that it'll suit quite well. So
yeah, very good. The Porsche through the tight twisty section. Almost half a second up through that sector 1, sector 2, but then definitely loses it again on the front straight, especially in top end by the looks of it.
Just keep an eye up the front there. We've got Squiddy, I should say, all over the back of Jonesy, although He's not looking to make the move. He's just lifting off when he gets close and conserving that fuel. So Scooty's right in strategy mode now.
Now, if you're in Squiddy's position, you're on that medium tyres, do you potentially look to do the overcut?
Oh, it's so hard to say. It honestly, it depends on what the other drivers around you are doing. If Squiddy can go that one extra lap and jump out ahead of Jonesy with Jonesy's out lap, look, anything is possible. I think both have been shown to work in my earlier testing throughout the week as well. I've done the undercut and the overcut. But you've really got to get that first lap on the hards. You have got to nail that down pat. And if Jonesy's a couple laps older on the hards, and they're up to temp a bit more, Squiddy could still succumb to an overtake.
I think this is a good move by Squiddy here too now, Adam. He's just sitting in that slipstream with Jonesy. They're working together, gives him the odd bump down the straight, and isn't looking to make the overtake. They're really trying to maximise this medium tyre run right now.
Yeah, of course. I'd be doing the exact same thing if I was in Scooty's shoes. No use fighting for the position when they can work together and try and build a gap.
Class racers, these two too. They know each other well. They've raced with each other quite significantly in terms of time. So they know each other and they know how they drive. They'll be looking to maximise for the long race for sure.
Guys, sorry to interrupt, but looking back into 12th position, Darth Berserk, he's had an issue at some point. He was up there in 4th, and I was just flicking through the field there, and he's dropped all the way down to 12th with I think he had a big off there. He did a 1 minute 41, so he's done to almost 13 seconds there on that last lap.
How are his tyres looking? A minute 40 is about where you would expect for an outlap post pit stop.
He's still on more tyres.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's definitely had an issue somewhere.
Unfortunate. He was going great guns up at the lead with the hard tyre running. So very unfortunate.
We'll have a guess who that leaves in 4th position.
Oh, and up for 5th and 6th. Got Corbin pulled out to look for a move on MCDC, but thought better of it. Now they're right on the tail of Dodgy here.
This is an incredibly tight pack. Suit Lad, Corbin, MCDC, Dodgy, all within basically a second and a half of each other.
Interestingly too, just having a look at Flossie, he's only 15 seconds off the lead at this point, so he is actually making ground back a little bit at this point.
Oh, MCDC looking to make the move on Dodgy down the inside. Going side by side, can Dodgy hold it around the outside?
They get plenty of racing room.
Oh, this is dangerous going side by side through this section.
It does not work.
Nervous.
MCDC backs out of it. Great racing IQ there.
Fantastic display of racing IQ, and Dodgy just taking charge of that situation. MCDC dropping a position to Corbin.
Yeah, MCDC had to back out of it then and just open the door for Corbin as Corbin goes sideways through those corners.
It's such a rhythm section there. If you just get offline a little bit as MCDC was coming in, it really affects you braking all the way down through that section before you get under the little tunnel there. And clearly, he's locked the rears up as he's sideways again coming onto the straight, and that cost him that position there to Corbin, and now he's going to come under attack from Suitland. Right in the slipstream now in that Alpha.
And that Alpha's been shown.
Has the top end power.
Yeah, has that top end pace, that top end speed. It must be similar to the Porsche as well. It may not have the power to get there by itself, but it's definitely got the gearing. So, when in the slip, it's a dangerous machine.
Well, we're 8 laps in. Let's have a quick run through the field if we can. First position, Jonesy in the Supra there on the first of the medium runners. Squiddy now has actually just dropped off the back of Jonesy a little bit. Doesn't look like he's had any particular issues, but just potentially dropping off with the pace there in the low 27s. Maybe he is trying to go a little bit longer on those mediums. And then Oily, who's recovered well after not a too great a start, now only 3 seconds back off the lead there in Jonesy. They're the 3 medium runners, which are expecting to come in around lap 11 or 12. Adam, take us through from position 4.
Yeah, we've got Dodgy 86 there. He's 7.2 seconds off third. Fairly closely behind him is CCH for the Jade Finance Australia L Plan team. And then we've got MCDC, race 2 winner, down there in 6th position. Followed closely behind him is Suit Lad down there in 7th.
A bit of a gap back from Suit Lad. Well, not too big a gap, but we've got Flossie, who's on that real alternate strategy. He went out and did the 1 lap on the hards, is now on the mediums. Probably see him come in maybe around lap 13 or 14, just after the other medium runners, to then push all the way home. He's going to need some pace though, because he's still got a few of those hard lap runners in front of him, and he'll want to get them by the end of this stint here. In 9th place, again, for the L Plan team, Madrisky. And then Broken Spoke, who's struggling a little bit. He did fantastically here in the Jag Group 4 last time we were out. So it's a track that I know he likes, but maybe just coming to grips with that new Z4 in 10th position there, with a lot of pressure now from Darth Berserk, who had that issue earlier on lap, I think it was 6. Lap 5.
Yeah, and just behind Darth, we've got Brutal in the 180 embroidery TDR entry, and then in 13th we've got Tate 2J as a privateer this season. We'll jump up back to 10th as Darth Berserk goes up the inside of Broken Spoke.
Through that section of the course too, that is some confidence to be able to get that move done.
That's that handling of the Porsche. It's absolutely brilliant through there, and you gain almost a half a second, but it's always tough to get past, so maybe Spoke just went a little bit wide and Darth took advantage of it. Well done.
Jumping
All right,
Flossie's
lap 10. Sorry, Jonesy leading across just in front of Squidly and Oiling My Blood. These 3 medium runners now with only a couple of laps to go here.
Squiddy really managing that gap between him and Jonesy. Basically hovered around 0.8 to 1 second for 10 laps. Really going to show both drivers consistency.
Sorry boys, 4th position. MCDC went from 6th to 4th in the braking zone.
He's gotten loose on the corner exit.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're going too wide between MCDC and Corbin here. MCDC is just backed out of it. Dodgy being able to hold on to 4th place too. Dodgy really commanding through there.
Yeah, unfortunate for MCDC. He made a fantastic move going to T1, but then got on the grass and just lost all the speed on the exit. And
just behind that, guys, in 7th, Flossie and Suit Lad was side by side there for almost 3 corners. Flossie coming out the victor there on the medium tyre as he now starts to hunt this group of hard races down.
So interesting note that I've picked up on, Flossie has been hovering around that 13 to 14 second bracket for a number of laps now. This is going to be hurting his aggressive strategy by going basically 2 pit stops and 2 full stints on mediums. So he's really wanting to dispatch these guys pretty quick, but by the time he does, he'll be pit stopping again and would have dropped back. So it's a bold strategy.
All he needs to do is get to the front of this group. Ooh, I thought MCDC was going into the pits there, but he maybe decided against it last minute.
This is an incredibly tight pack for halfway through the race.
So Adam, if we think about Flossie here, he's on the medium tyre and he's coming up to, what is he now? Dodgy in 4th position.
There's a fun MCDC. And they're in the fence.
Oh no, MCDC
Flossie's got engine damage.
And then Suit Lad's getting caught up in the middle of it all as well. Everyone's going to try and get back on track. Flossie dealing with engine damage. Darth being able to jump around him. Spoke in a very awkward position jumping around Flossie as well. That is so tight and so unfortunate through the exit of turn 1 just to make contact there. 3 wide. We've seen it happen before, but this time it ended in tears.
Wow, I was just about to say all Flossie needed to do was catch up to the back of Dodgy for that pit stop, and then he'll be in the group of guys on those medium tyres that are chasing down the current top 3 that are then on hards. That has absolutely ruined his race, and that strategy could have worked. It absolutely could have worked.
Unfortunately, we will not know, at least in this div. Unfortunate for Flossie, you've still got plenty of time to recover and take home some good points.
That's the risk of putting yourself back in the pack and needing to fight through for those positions. It costs you time, and you have the ability to be in those racing situations where it just sometimes doesn't come off right. Unfortunately for Flossie there, it just didn't work out.
Yeah, we see a few of the hard runners coming into the pits.
Yeah, Dodgy, Darth and MCDC and Spoke all in on lap 11. That's going to be a slightly longer...
It's going to be 12 on the mediums.
12 laps, that's about right on the mediums.
Well, just jumping back up the front to see how these three are going. Squid has been able to keep that gap to about a second to Jonesy, but unfortunately picked up a half-second penalty in somewhere in the first or second sector. So unfortunate there, he's going to serve that, and Oil is 1.5 behind. It's going to be tight coming into this hairpin if Oil's able to jump in, but I'll be honest, I don't see these guys going around for another lap on the mediums.
Looking at their tyre wear, Jonesy's definitely getting down to the end of his tyre life. Squiddy can probably do another lap. And Oily My Blood, whose tyres looked really good a couple of laps ago, he's really used them up now. So I think we'll definitely see the two Supras in on this lap. Squiddy might just go that extra one and try that overcut. He's in a position if he wants to. Does he do it?
No, Oil stayed out.
Oil and Squid both staying out with Jonesy in on the mediums there. So... looking at Squiddy and Oil's tyres, Oil's going to be very close, but I think if anybody can do it, it's Oil, and Squiddy's definitely got that extra lap in now.
Certainly is. Squid is, as you picked up earlier, looking for that overcut, and he's going to need an absolute cranker of a lap on the final. I mean, pending that he is coming in, he could be going 14 laps for all I know, but we'll certainly need to look out on the hards later on.
Jonesy's just coming out of the pits now, and he's in fairly fresh air. He's got Suitlard up ahead, probably 2 or 3 seconds, so shouldn't hold him too much at the moment.
We also saw Tate come in off the hard tyres on that lap as well.
Yeah, so really good to see that Jonesy has been able to pop out into clean air, and he can just focus on getting a nice outlap in on the hards. They do take a little bit to warm up, and they are still on adjustment from warm mediums. They do tend to slide around a little bit more, so he just needs to keep it clean, keep his head down, and he can, and hopefully, stay out in front of Squid, hang on to that effective race lead.
Just looking at his... sorry, go for it, Adam.
I was just going to say, I might jump on with Squid, and if you want to stay on with Jonesy and see where he's at while I talk you through Squid's pit stop as he comes in. And Oil's also in. Oil with great fuel save there, 39%, whereas Squiddy's only on 32%.
So that'll
Jonesy
help
just
out
coming
Oil.
out of the hairpin, gets a good run off there. He's definitely got those hards to come up to temperature now. Coming around the left-hand kink on the front straight now.
There you go, cars are off the jacks for Squiddy, just waiting for the fuel to go in.
Oh, we're coming past the start-finish line with Jonesy. He's going to take back that race lead, I think. And Oil has jumped Squid out of the pits as well with that fuel save.
Yeah, great work there by Oily. I think Squiddy was just a bit too heavy on the requirement for fuel. And as we look at the top three now, they're all pretty even, but Oily is definitely under-fueled a little bit to try and get that position. He'll need to manage that now for the rest of the race.
I mean, Oil has pulled off some fantastic manoeuvres in the past, and I think this might just be another one. He's in a great spot here, just needs to keep it clean and work with the drivers around him.
And the gap from Jonesy on the hards now to Dodgy, the first of the runners on the medium, at 14 laps is 14 seconds, and tumbling quickly as Dodgy comes through that first sector. They're already taking another half second out of it through that sector alone to 13.5 seconds. That's the gap we're going to be watching now. He's got CCH right behind him. These two need to work together to catch that front pack and make it a really good fight on that last lap or two.
Yeah, 100%. If they start battling, they're just going to let the top three run away.
Yeah, you guys are spot on. Dodgy is in a great spot here to close up those times. You do see anywhere from half a second to a full second difference between the mediums and the softs. The mediums and the hards, depending on how you're driving. So yeah, Squid and Oil still need to light their tyres up a little bit more than Jonesy. But Dodgy is in a surprisingly good spot here.
Surprise, surprise, if we look back to 7th position, it's MCDC and Flossie right there with each other again. So these two unfortunately found each other earlier, potentially hurt both of their races. They're back on track now, and everybody has completed their pit stops. We're racing right through to the end.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the demeanour is between these two when they start fighting for position. I think Flossie will be a little bit of steam coming out of that helmet.
He was definitely on the aggressive strat, and it's unfortunate that those two came together. So I'm sure both of them will be seeing red while they're still having their helmets on. And all things said and done, might need to review those incidents and just figure out what went wrong. But look, it's racing; things happen. We have stewards for a reason.
Well, now that everyone's taken their final pit stop, let's have a quick run through the field. We've got the lead pack on mediums. We've got Jonesy, Oily, My Blood, and Squidly, the top three there. They're now out on the hard tyres, and they'll run them all the way down to the end. The gap from Jonesy in first.
Oh, we can see, sorry, just quickly, Ash, Squid and Oil are side by side. So Squid with a fantastic exit out of the hairpin and actually gets it done before the two left-handers. So Squid takes back second place.
Interesting. So Oily there, maybe needing to save fuel already if he did underfuel for a little bit. Although Supra definitely has the top end power as it gets into slipstream, but he sticks back there. So it's the first three within 2 seconds of each other there, Jonesy, Squid, and Oily in My Blood. And then it's now a 13.5 second gap back to Dodgy. That needs to start dropping quickly, and it looks like Dodgy and CCH, I don't know if they just had a little bit of an issue on that last lap, or if they're just getting up to pace on these medium tyres. But it's pumped back out to 14 seconds, and they need to start tumbling that number down very quickly.
Yeah, so those last lap times for Dodgy were 27.3, where Oil was a 27.8. So Dodgy on that optimal tyre, not much faster than the boys up there in front. But we've got Dodgy there in fourth, and then he's been hassled by Corbin or CCH for fifth position there.
Corbin got awfully close to the wall there. Has he picked up damage, or is that just a bit of online glitching to say that he did snag the wall?
So no damage on his car, so it must have just been a little glitch, but yeah.
Interesting out of those two drivers at the moment, Corbin with much better tyre life over Dodgy. I do believe we saw Dodgy come in 1 lap earlier than Corbin, 1 lap 11, so he's going to have to manage those tyres. Foles Corbin will probably be looking to get past now and start to bring that gap down.
Yeah, and then we'll continue running through the field where we've got Suitlad down there in 6th position. And then behind Suitlad is MCDC. And we've got Flossie in 8th. They're all over the back of MCDC here. Going to see him move into this corner, yeah. Flossie looking down the inside.
Floss.
Good move there by Flossie down the inside.
So cut back on.
Definitely better tyre life, Flossie. He did pit a little bit later than MCDC, so he's back in the grind now. He's going to have to chase down Suitlad now, and potentially, if the tyres go off, maybe the back end of the podium. There's a potential, but I think at least the top 5 for Flossie now is what he needs to be aiming for. Behind him now, MCDC, who just put that move on, and then right behind them, Brutal for TDR in the 180 embroidery Z4 there, and Darth Berserk for the damn Mexicans in the AMS. Very bright. Definitely not going to miss that one on track this season, Adam.
Yeah, that's right. Bright and bold colours there for damn Hexicans. Down there in 11th, we've got Madruski. In 12th, we've got Broken Spoke, and 13th, we have Tate 2J. Just want to jump up with the battle between MCDC and Flossie. I just want to see if MCDC can get a run down the straight here and possibly retake 7th spot. Although Flossie has a fairly decent run on that last corner, and he's got a half a second tenth lead. Although it is coming down here now.
Oh, it's dropping. I don't think it's going to be enough.
Nah.
You can see the Jag definitely flexing his power with the top end there, but Flossie's tyre life is much better. So through the corners and out of the corners, that's where he's making his gain, getting his lap time at the moment. And in fact, Flossie with the fastest lap of the race earlier on with the 25.888. Gotta love those numbers, but he's back down. It's not quite in the in the 25s yet, but he's back down in the mid 26s with a little bit of free air chasing down Sulat. I think he can get back into the 25s now.
Yeah, so with about 5.5 laps to go, we've got Corbin down there, first of the medium runners, 11.8 seconds off the lead, and only 9 seconds off Oil My Blood. What do you reckon, boys? Do you think he can run it down?
Well, he's definitely pulled the gap down since he got past Dodgy, and we did miss that there. So Corbin, slingshot engaged. He's gone straight past Dodgy, who's got 1 lap older tyres, and in fact, Corbin's tyre life is... He's definitely using the tyres now to get those low 26s. We see him come across the line here again on lap 18 with a 26.0. So that's his best lap of the race so far. He's definitely chasing down Oil My Blood. That gap now down to 11 seconds, but with the number of laps that we've got left, I don't think he can get there, but it could be tight depending on how consistent Oil can be on those hard tyres now behind Squiddy.
Yeah, so Corbin was 1.3 seconds quicker on that last lap than Oil. So it could get close.
It could be very close towards the end there. The hards do tend to hang on for a significantly long time, but it's honestly gonna be tight. Corbin on controller does experience a little bit higher tyre wear, so maybe he's using the best of his mediums to catch up, and he may just not have enough to complete an overtake. But it's gonna be close.
Just out of interest too, looking at the top 3 as Jonesy rounds the hairpin there, Squiddy has started to pull that gap in just a little bit over the last couple of, the last lap in particular, it was 0.3 faster. It's sitting around that kind of 1.2 second mark now, and it had blown out to around 2 seconds earlier. So can Squiddy chase down Jonesy? It's probably got slightly better tyre life, although that's not too much of an issue on the hards. They're relatively consistent now right through to the end, and definitely do these 11-12 lap sits without an issue.
Yeah, Jonesy's got a little bit more fuel than Squiddy, so hopefully they've got enough fuel to finish the race. If that becomes a factor, Jonesy's definitely in the box seat for that. But you're right, Squiddy's tyres are a little bit better than Jonesy's. Jonesy runs a little bit wide into that corner.
It's a good pickup there, Adam. Squiddy has definitely used a little bit more fuel. He had a bit more on board when he came out, and now Oily actually had less fuel to get that jump in the pit stop. But Oily now in a better fuel situation than Squiddy. So Squiddy got the red mist, potentially taking too much of that fuel down as anyone else looking back through the field in that same position.
Jonesy managing that gap to Squid at the moment, still sitting just between that 1.5 to 1.3 second range. The Jag is fantastic on corner exit here, so probably see that drop a little bit. But as soon as that super does pick up its top end, it is a monster. I was comparing some times earlier on in the week, and drivers were saying they're getting 256, 257 across the line, and there we are in the super doing 268. And those 10Ks makes a massive difference.
And just looking at that fuel number too, Adam, the two that are potentially going to run into a bit of issues towards the end of this race are actually Squiddy and Flossie. They've got the least in the tank, the rest are like they're good to go. They might just have to keep that in the back of their mind over these final few laps and make sure that they have enough in the tank for that last one, because you do not want to come out of that last hairpin and run out of fuel. We've seen it happen all week in the practice lobbies, and you'll dump a bunch of positions.
Just jumping on towards the tail end of this group, 11th and 12th, we are seeing Broken Swag and Darth Berserk go toe-to-toe for a position here. Plenty of dirt drops.
Darth picked up a penalty
too, so this could be it for Spoke. He might be able to get up to 11th over Darth here, as Darth has to take the penalty under the tunnel, third last lap.
Alrighty, boys are the front are rounding their corner to now complete their, I was actually about to say penultimate lap, but I'm counting one out. Two laps
Jonesy, a 0.5 second penalty coming off
Oh,
There, he'll have to serve that
That
down
is
the back straight. This could bring
huge.
Squiddy right up onto the back of him with just 2 laps to go.
That is huge and unfortunate for Jonesy. GT7 really just going to show that it is brutal with the way it hands out penalties. But for things he's gone over the track limits, then here you go. Cop that.
Yeah, it's a dangerous area there, the exit of that hairpin, and it looks like he's just pushed it just a tad too much. This is going to make it a really tight race here between the top 3. Just looking back at the gap to the first of the medium runners, Corbin 10, still 11 seconds behind. They're not going to catch this top 3. The top 3 that we have right now, they're the ones that are going to bring it home. That's where the race is, guys. And Jonesy in the lead with a 0.5 second penalty as he brings it down through these S's and onto the back straight for the second last time.
and Oil just also closing the gap as well. So this is going to become a fight between the top 3 here for first, with 1 lap to go.
That's exactly what Corbin needs. He's sitting back there going, guys, fight it out hard. Here comes the penalty, the gap dropping down, 9, 8, 6, 5. Squiddy is going to be right on him by the end of this hairpin here. And you know what? The most important thing, he's right in the slipstream if he can get a good run off here. Jonesy's going to be careful not to get that penalty again. Still pushing the barriers there, but this time he's okay and safe. Squiddy now, just 0.45, 0.3 of a second back. He's getting the benefit of that slipstream, and the power of the Jag off the corner is chasing Jonesy down. Can he get him here in turn 1? Adam, take us into turn 1.
I think Squiddy's in trouble here with his fuel. I can't see him.
And Oil's in the slip.
Yeah.
Last lap,
Stick
boys.
with this
Last
battle
lap.
now. Squiddy, right, you're right. He's right low on the fuel there. Jonesy now flashing red as well, but he'll have enough to get through there. And Oily right on the back. There's just 0.7, the 0.8 covering these top 3 right now as they come through the twisty sector 2.
A lot of dirt drops there. Jonesy trying to maximise his use of the track to stay out and in first place. Oil a little bit wide there. That's going to hurt him through this mid-sector. Hopefully he can hang on for that slip. And if Squiddy's in trouble for fuel, he's going to have to short shift just trying to make it towards the end.
This is massive pressure. I reckon
Squiddy needs a good run out of here. And he does get a good run.
He gets a great
Time's
run.
dropping.
He's actually
But
dropped
I don't know
Oil.
if he has the legs on Jonesy.
The Jags get such
Super's
a
definitely
fantastic
got the top
corner
end.
exit.
Can he hold it off?
Yeah. The corner exit
Right in
is
the
where Jags
slipstream
make it
now.
up.
Well, you can see the top end of that Super really pulling that gap back out to 0.4 of a second.
Keep it tidy,
They both
Jonesy.
need to be careful coming off here.
Squid a little bit sideways. That's gonna hurt.
Squiddy. And I think Jonesy's kept it. Squiddy's really, really tight on fuel. He might run out here and could be pushed by Oil, but I think Jonesy, congratulations in 13R. He's taking this one out. Squiddy keeps enough fuel in the tank, just 0.3 seconds behind. What a grandstand finish with Oily there in 3rd. And
Double
Corbin
podium
now
for
coming
13R.
across for 4th position. Dodgy holds out Flossie, who's on that alternate strategy. Flossie there in 6th in front of Suitlad and MCDC. Madruski now coming around that last corner, 26 seconds off the leaders there for 9th place. And Darth Berserk holding out Broken Spoke there for the last couple of laps in 10th and 11th. And then rounding out the field, Brutal, who's had engine damage, unfortunately. He must have had an off there right at the end. He's coming across with an absolutely broken Z4, but he has enough of a gap to hold out Tate, who's just coming onto the final straight now.
He
to
is
really struggle with rear
all
tire grip,
over
you're
the
right.
place. Is he going to hold it? Oh, it's tight.
I think he's having a little bit of fun there because there's enough left on those tyres. Wow, what a finish. We definitely saw the guys that went out on the mediums first in the top 3. They were the only 3 that went that strategy. Everyone else went on the hards. But Jonesy, Squiddy, and Oily in my blood. Congratulations, Jonesy, on the win. But that's your top 3 for the final race we have here tonight in Div 2 at Deep Forest.
What an opener for Season 12 for World Tour Racing. Fantastic races in all the races. Amazing stuff. If you really enjoyed that stream, those races, please like the stream and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss anything going forward. Amazing racing by everyone tonight.
We could not have asked for a better opener. The effort here put in by these boys, race 1, 2 and 3, all seeing different race winners, different strategies, different excitement. I mean, race 2 was spectacular. I think we've got to prepare for our lobbies now, and Div1. Oof, we're going to have a work cut out for ourselves, Adam.
Yeah, I'm already sweating just watching these guys. I don't know how we're going to go about racing, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, so make sure to stick around at 7:30. We'll have the Division 1 racing live streaming, and also just like to thank our sponsors once again. Hybrid Ag, 180 Embroidery, AMS Excavations, Per Mobile, and Jade Finance Australia. So thanks to those guys once again, and thank you, Captain, for doing the visuals tonight.
Anytime, more than happy to help with this PS5 now. Everything went crispy smooth. I'm quite impressed, so look forward to doing some more visuals and more comms.
Fantastic work. It's been absolutely great to have both of you here in the comm box with me tonight. Fantastic job by all of our Div2 drivers. A big shout out to MCDC and Brutal, who've moved up from Div3. They really held their own tonight, and MCDC in particular with that win in Race 2. We definitely saw some good pace from Flossie. He's going to be one to watch this season here in Div2. He was right up there and took that win in Div1, absolutely brained the field in the sprint race, and we saw that he could have had that strategy work, so he had the pace there in that third race as well, but it just came unstuck, so he'll be one to watch throughout the season. Again, the 13R boys, all in my blood, and Jonesy, solid as always, especially in those strategy races there towards the end. Congratulations on the victory there from Jonesy, and I think we'll wrap it up there. What an absolutely epic night. I think I'll give one of our Div3 drivers, Palmer, the final words. He put it there in the chat, in the live chat on our YouTube channel. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, please go and like the stream. He said that was intense. What a fantastic finish and start to Season 12, and a fantastic finish to those races there tonight. If you like wheel-to-wheel racing, as Adam said, follow us on YouTube. Jump on the Discord as well. We're on Facebook as well. Just look up wheel-to-wheel racing. There is still time to join us for the rest of Season 12. We've got a 9-round season rounding out 2022. You can join us as a privateer, jump in our D-League lobby, and you too could be here with us at Deep Forest in Div 2 next season. Gents, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And that's it. We're out.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.